Whoops.
What?
Accidentally showed our face before I did the intro. Anyway,
Oh,
we're here.
are we live? Oh, we're live. Okay.
Yeah, we're live now. It's just a
Okay. I
delay.
thought we messed something up.
Don't look there. Look there.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I saw it going. Yeah.
All right, what are we going to talk about today, babe?
What we admire about each other, and what has influenced us.
Yes, more importantly, that's what I find interesting. Not just another, like, this is why I like you and stuff. But when you do trust someone and you spend a lot of time with them, how they rub off on you and you rub off on them as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think why I wanted to talk about this topic is because there are certain traits that you have that I really admire because I wish I had them. Like specifically for that reason. Like obviously you've got other traits as well that I simply just admire, but specifically the ones that I wish I had, those are interesting to talk about, I think. And then like how I've adapted it a little bit or how it's influenced me.
Well, you can kick it off if you want, because it sounds like you've got a few things in your head right now.
Yeah.
We can say hi to the regulars, Peg and Big Ol. Hello. And also encourage people, if they're here live, to give us their thoughts. We put a poll down just before we start talking about what traits would you admire in a person? Like realistically, I think people should know what is good for them and what's really important in another partner. So keep your eyes out for those things, because we can always come across people that are attractive. We like what we like. But what really works is when you realize why you like the person, and that if it is these traits that really help you in your life, supportive, work well with your lifestyle, you're both introverts, you both see the world in a similar way, like that's a really good start. Like what traits would you admire in a partner? What would you really like to have in your partner?
Yeah, and it's also interesting because it's kind of a two-part thing, because you can have a list of things you would want in a partner. But then also, once you're in the relationship, then you find out things that you didn't know before. Like there were traits that once I started talking to you, I knew, okay, he's got these amazing traits. But after living with you and being married to you, I've also discovered other traits that you have that I love. So you find out more traits as you spend more time together.
And this is the thing that a lot of people don't want to consider, especially when you're single and away from a relationship. I get it. You're not in one, so there's no way of realistically knowing. But there's a lot of people that have these expectations and what they want before they meet someone. And then you actually meet someone and you really do get along, and a lot of your expectations aren't with this person that you actually get along with. You never thought about them. And then also if you start living with them, they also change and you see other things too. So it's not just, it's good to have really good boundaries and know who you are and what you want before you meet a person. But then once you meet someone that's compatible, some of your boundaries, or like I'll never date anyone who's X or Y, you meet someone that's really great for you and it's like, X and Y is not such a big deal anymore, especially considering you. Like for instance, before I met you, if I had a trait like I don't want a girl that has this, and I meet you and you've got a little bit of that, but you've got so many good qualities, it's like, I can live with it. You've got a negative quality that I'd rather you not have it, but it's not a big deal compared to the really great positives you have. So when you meet someone, you start to realize things you never thought about.
Mm-hmm. You want to put the screen back?
Oh, yeah. The apologies for the light going in and out, but the clouds and the sun goes harsh and light. So anyway. Yeah. Whoa. I'll do that.
Oh yeah, did you guys see the thumbnail? Did you like it? Because that was my idea.
Yeah. It's not me being a...
Well, he did the picture, and then I was like, it would be so funny if you said, oh, you're amazing. And you're like, I know. Because it's so fitting with the picture.
It's the Empire Strikes Back thing. Mm-hmm. I love you. I know.
Mm.
All right. So let's kick it off with, what things did you discover after you started living with me? What things did you admire or appreciate?
Well, I think in general, the biggest thing I admire in you and what I wish I had more of is your stable mood. Like your mood is always consistent, calm. Whereas I have like, my mood can be all over the place sometimes. You know, when something's bothering me, it can really stay in my head for a while. It's hard for me to let it go. And I feel like you can do that a lot better.
That's generally a male trait as well. Most men tend to have one mood all the time, and you might feel down or off, but it's not a roller coaster. Generally, men have one mood all the time, and women can be fairly labile and kind of shift and obsess over one point. Ridiculous, like, you know.
Yeah. But sometimes it's also like I don't even know why. Like you can just be in a mood, or you can be a bit impatient about something, or, you know.
And then you wrestle with it, and it makes it even worse.
Yeah, and it's annoying, and sometimes even rationally, when I know like nothing's wrong and I'm just like focused on this one thing that's bothering me, it's just like, it's annoying. And like, you're always in the same mood, and I wish I could be more like that. And that's like my number one goal. I feel like I want to be more relaxed, because it's also like there's no reason to stress, and I still stress too much, I feel like, when I don't need to, because our life is totally stress-free and like easy and comfortable, but I still like stress over little things, and I don't want to do that anymore. Like I want to just be more relaxed and calm. And,
yeah, but at the same time, you can't help if you're in a certain mood. You can't, you know, when you're sad and people say, "Oh, just forget it and be happy," and it's more annoying. It's like, well, I feel the way I feel. Like, you're annoying me now. You're telling, "I'll be positive," and you're actually not positive. It's, you can't just jump genuinely to feeling another emotion.
I'm buffing.
Yeah. Boffin says, my mood is very stable except when tax season rolls around.
Yeah, but you know what you just said about, that is true. Like, it doesn't help if people say, oh, just get over it, because sometimes it helps to talk it out or something. But I feel like you also give me good advice about how to handle that I don't always take, because I'm stubborn sometimes. Because you'll say sometimes, like, make sure that you plan out stuff and have projects to work on, or go for a walk, or do something to try to change your mood. And then sometimes I'm stubborn about that, and I don't want to, because I'm like, yeah, but this thing is stressing me. But then it does help to try to change. Like this morning, we went for a walk outside, and I feel great. Like those things do help. So,
but there's good things about, like, your stubbornness to address how you feel right now. Like, if you don't feel good, you don't want to do anything else until you rectify this. Like, I want to resolve this, right? But the way to resolve it is to let it go and go to something else. But your OCD brain is like, no, we've got to fix this. But that trait is good when there's like conflict resolution. So my trait is to let it go and like ignore some stuff. I ghost a lot of things that I don't, if I can't fix it, I'll let them go. But you're like, no, we've got to talk this out. We've got to resolve it. We've got to get on the same page. And so in that context, that's great to have that obsessive mind where you've got to fix it. You need to fix something right there and right now. You can't put something on the shelf and fix it later. No, you have to fix it now. Everything has to be fixed.
Yeah, like when it's something that I can actually fix, then I'll go and fix it. But sometimes it's stuff that I can't do anything about right now. Like if I messed up my diet and I'm feeling bad, and then I'm just feeling bad and like stressed, but I can't do anything about it right now. And then I should, you know, either talk about it a little bit, talk it through a little bit, and then go and do something else and try to change my mood, and not let the whole weekend be ruined because I've messed up. And, you know, like that's happened sometimes.
Yeah.
And then afterwards I kick myself. Like that mood thing is really annoying. Like I wish I didn't have that. And I wish I was more stable and calm with that. Maybe that's a female thing, but it's really annoying. Yeah. I wish that I was more like you. That's
but I've noticed since we've been together slowly over time, you're much better. I've rubbed off on you in that way, where you get over your moods a lot quicker. Remember when we first started living together? I mean, there's the adjustment of living together, but also the longevity of your mood being down or off is shorter now. Like you get over things a lot quicker.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that's because of a few reasons. I think it's because we've automatically grown closer together, but also because I have gotten more used to sharing everything with you and talking things through, but also simply because I've obviously become more considerate of you over the years, because when we first met, like, I was very independent and used to being on my own. So, being considerate was not always my strongest suit, not because I'm mean or anything, but just because I was so used to being on my own. So I've kind of had to learn to be more considerate and just be more aware. Oh yeah, there's another person here, So I think I've also become better at that, and that's why I've kind of been able to change my mood maybe a little bit quicker than in the beginning.
Yeah. Like, you're very responsible. You like to do things, like even when we get shopping out of the car, like you're like a mule. You'll grab everything. Like, you'll grab 10 shopping bags. You're like a horse. And I was, babe, I'll carry some, or I'll come back for 2 trips. You're like, no, I got it. And sometimes you find it, I think your independence finds it hard to ask for help, and you want to do everything. And so even in your mood, when you're going through stuff, there's your old patterns that don't allow help to come in. You have to sit there and deal with it yourself.
Well, the shopping thing, I don't think that's necessarily about independence, but that's more just about, I want to get it over with. I want to get inside of the house so we can move on to the next thing. That's why I just try to get everything in one trip. But
what happens if you drop like a cake or something, though?
Oh my God, I would cry. If it's food is life.
I would laugh. Okay, see. And then you would say again, you're right.
You know what's funny though? Imagine you're like super stressed one night. You had a super stressful day. You come home and you make a dinner and you're like, oh, fucking hell, finally I've got this dinner. And then you walk to the couch and you trip and everything falls.
That's happened to me. That's happened to me once or twice in the past before I met you. My Friday nights, I always look forward to. After work, I didn't go anywhere. It was usually a pizza night, or I'd make food. I'd watch a movie, and it would be a really great end to the week. And I remember once or twice, you plan, you put chips in the oven, you make a pizza, you make these meal pasta. Like, it takes you half an hour to 40 minutes. You make this great thing on a tray, and you're walking to the living room, the couch, to watch a movie, and you trip, and it goes all over the couch.
Yeah. And then you're probably going to go, oh, fuck this. And then you just order food in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you don't even feel like watching. Anyway, let's get back to the topic, babe. Things we admire. Well, you've got this autistic side of you that's very particular and it has to deal with things. And as I've mentioned, that they're really great in us resolving something, moving on, so we don't carry it with us. So, I've been in relationships and you hear couples where there's a problem, you ask what's wrong, and they say nothing. You never say that. If there's a problem, you'll tell me.
Yeah.
And so you don't end up wasting the whole weekend. You go away with the person and they're bitter, and you waste the whole weekend because one of them can't admit and be honest about things. So that kind of very particular autistic trait is really good in addressing something. But then sometimes you focus too much on it, and because the only sensible thing in that moment is to let it go. You can't resolve it. You can't deal with it. You need to wait till later, or there's no way to resolve it until later. Like, you can't do anything now except stress yourself. So sensibly let it go, but you can't.
Yeah.
So that trait goes against you in that moment, but in other moments with our relationships, it's great. It's like the directness, the honesty, the let's resolve this situation and move on. That's awesome. But then...
Yeah, I think, that's exactly true. Like, if something's really important, nothing gets past me because I will confront it right away to fix it. Like, if it's something that I care about. But sometimes I also can get too focused on something that's like a problem in my mind, even if it's not rational. And then I can stay stuck with it in my mind for a long time.
But at least it's honest. Like, I might not like sometimes where you're in a certain mood. Maybe it's because it's a girl thing, you're emotional, you can't let something go, or you don't feel good for absolutely no reason. And nothing I say or try and talk to you about, you just need to sit with it and let it evaporate.
Sometimes, yeah.
And I've learned to accept that. It's like, it's nothing rational. It's not me. I can't talk to you like I would talk to myself. Because when I talk to you, I consider you because I can see you can't get out of your situation. And so I try to offer you what I would give to myself, but in your language maybe, but it still doesn't help. If you're kind of stubbornly holding on to something and you won't move, like if you're in your brain like a 5-year-old toddler and you won't let go of your awful toy, I have to let you sit with it and fall asleep or get bored, and then you'll come out of it. I have to realize that's the only thing to do in this situation.
Yeah. But I do think, like, at least I'm aware of it when I'm in a mood like that. And I do think that I deal with it a little bit better. Like, I try to actually talk through it. But I could get better at that, I think, yeah.
Yeah, but again, I appreciate your honesty. Like when last night you were thinking about something that you can't deal with until Monday. So you're not sure if it's A or B, something in our private life, and you have to wait until you get back to work on Monday, and it's driving you a little bit.
Yeah, yesterday it was really bugging me.
Yeah. And there's nothing you can do till Monday. And it's easy for me to say, oh, babe, forget it till Monday. But if I was in the situation, if something's bugging me, something's bugging me. And if someone says, oh, just forget about it, it's easy for other people to say. But, and even last night, I could tell you couldn't let it go. And I was like, yeah, I can't do anything about it. And so I let you sit with it. And then later on, you're still self-aware to come up to me and say, babe, sorry if I was a bit snappy, but I can't let this thing go. I'm worried about A, B, or C, Yeah,
because I think sometimes when you're just kind of stressed over something, even if it's not rational, because the thing about yesterday, it's not a rational thing, because I don't even think it's a legit thing that's a problem. I'm just thinking it might be a problem in my head, but yeah, then sometimes when people say, oh, you can't do anything about it now, like, don't worry about it. And that's true. But sometimes when you feel really stressed, it's like, yeah, but like I feel this right now. Like I can't pretend not to feel this. And that was kind of the reaction I had, I think. And that's why I came to you afterwards. Like, but that's just me being stressed about the situation.
Yeah, but that's one thing I really admire about you, where you can admit you're wrong. That's one big thing. And guys will agree with me here. How many women do you know in your life that will say sorry and admit when they're wrong? I think there are a great number of guys, they can't name anyone because they always have to play games, and like women won't say they're sorry, they won't admit they're wrong and things like that. You immediately, even when you were feeling a bit down last night and had nothing to do with us or me or anything, you were just thinking about something and you wish you could stop thinking about it, you still came up to me and said, sorry, babe. Sorry to be in this mood, but I can't help it. It's got nothing to do with us and blah, blah. You'll admit, rather than most people be like, well, they're annoying me and I'm dealing with this and like I'll just ignore them. You don't play those games. You just directly tell me how you're feeling now, and you're aware if you're rude or inconsiderate.
Yeah, but I feel like that's also something I've really learned from being in this marriage, is that whenever I'm in a mood or there's something wrong with me, that has nothing to do with you or our marriage, but it still affects you and it affects us at home. So that's why I'm always apologizing, like, sorry, babe, I've got this thing in my head and blah, blah, blah. And then we try to talk it out sometimes but yeah.
The great thing about being married is that it's almost like the marriage always has to come first. We have to come first. So in my eyes, the marriage and you come before me. And in your eyes, the marriage and me come before you. Our individual desires have to come third place. It's always the other person and the marriage first.
Yeah, and I think that's always the example or the goal. Like, obviously, that's not always possible. Like, if I'm in a mood and I can't get out of it or something, then I'm not necessarily putting our marriage first. You know what I mean?
But it helps.
But you try to, you're aware of it, so you try to get out of it, and you make sure that your partner is fine and that he knows what's going on and it's got nothing to do with him, like that kind of stuff. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, there is something very real where you have to try more for a really good reason outside of you. I mean, people used to do that with religion, something bigger than you be better because of something, not just your feelings, but there's something bigger than you that you have to respect and take care of. And with us, it's really good to kind of, you're kind of off the hook of your emotions. If I'm feeling a certain way, and when I put us first, it's kind of like I'm off the hook. Like, it's easy. I just lean on our marriage. I lean on you. Like, what's good for, like, I don't have to wrestle with my head.
Yeah, and I feel like that's also really helped me, knowing that you're not only responsible for yourself, but also for this marriage. So, I want to be more stable. And, I want to improve in all these things because it's also good for our marriage. So that's also good to feel that responsibility for the marriage as well.
Well, think about your marriage has got you in a lot of ways. Before, when you're single, you're independent, right? You think, well, it's good to be responsible for yourself. That's great. But when you know that the marriage has got me, you feel a level of comfort, like it doesn't all have to be me responsible for me and everything and all that. Like I have the marriage taking care of me as well. And so if I treat my marriage well, my marriage will treat me well. If I treat Stephanie well, she will treat me well. You know what I mean? But if you kind of go, no, I've got to be responsible for everything, my mood and everything. When you're in those moments, you just lean on the marriage and you do what's good for the marriage, and you can distract yourself from your mood. You know, your marriage and your relationship and the other person can be a great thing in those moments where your head is holding you hostage, where you can say, you know what, I'm going to lean into my marriage and do what's good for it, and I'm going to try and block this out until my mood gets better.
Yeah.
But that's, I think, something with me. I can automatically, I hate feeling negative or not in control, and I'll just move from this to something else.
Yeah, and I can't always do that. And that's what I really admire in you. Because I really stay stuck in a mood sometimes, and then I really have to try. I need some time to get out of it. And that really annoys me. I want to get better at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're really good at that.
Yeah, well, I just hate feeling negative. Like I need to do something to get out of where I am. If I'm in a negative place or I can't fix something, I will try and talk about it or resolve it. But if there's nothing I can do logically, there's nothing. I'm going in circles here and I'm just chasing my tail. And I've noticed this online with guys online. They talk about the same things and they're frustrated. The moment you say, well, this is stupid. What about this? What about let's go outside the lines? It's like, no. And it's like, no, well, that's the only thing that'll work. And the same with our private life and me. If I'm in a bad state, I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to read. I'm going to watch a movie. I'm going to do anything other than stay here and loop chaos. Chaos.
You know what I think my brain thinks? I think my brain thinks that if I'm feeling bad, that's gonna be less discomfort than if I actually try to change my mood and do something active. I think that my brain thinks that if I'm feeling bad and I force myself to go for a walk or do something else, my brain thinks that that's gonna be more discomfort than sitting here with this. Because that's how I feel sometimes. Because I'm stubborn and then I don't want to go and do something.
I think it's more effort. Feels like no one wants to put in effort. Everyone chooses the path of least resistance.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I think that my brain thinks, but this is less discomfort than changing my mood and doing this thing.
Yeah,
and then I stay there.
Yeah, but that's your brain lying to you because you're feeling shit and you think, well, if I have to go out and go for a walk, that's even more work than this. Like I'm just adding to more effort. Like there's a lot of effort here trying to get over my mood. If I have to do something else, that's actually more I have to do. But actually, you're leaving this and you're going somewhere else.
Yeah, especially if this has been the way you've been dealing with it for years and years, then this is going to feel more comfortable. And doing something else is going to feel like you're getting out of your comfort zone, maybe. Well, so it makes sense.
The way I look at it, if I'm in a shitty mood or I don't like where I am, listening to a screaming toddler, going and talking to a calm old man is better. You're not taking the screaming toddler and adding it to the old man. You're actually leaving the screaming toddler and you're going to talk to the old man. So if you're in your head in a mood, you're not taking that and adding more work. You're leaving this and doing something calmer. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, but that's something that you need to realize and that you need to practice over and over again. And if no one ever says that to you or you never have that realization, then you're always going to stay in that same routine, I guess.
I feel like if women could train themselves to think of their moods when they don't like the mood they're in, if they can train themselves to think of those moods as like a screaming toddler, that would be better to make them say, "Oh, shut up. I'm gonna tape your mouth and lock you in a room so I can't hear you anymore." And then you go somewhere else.
I sometimes think like that when I think about food. You know, like you can't always eat everything all the time, always, everywhere for the rest of your life. You're gonna become obese, you know? Like, sometimes when I'm like, because, you know, women are always dieting and stuff. And sometimes you get kind of sick of it. And then you're like, I just want to eat this and this and this. And then you have to, okay, Steph, you know, you can't always eat everything all the time.
Well, didn't I help you the other way rationalize it? You were kind of in that mood and like you overate and you didn't feel good. And then I said, just accept it.
Oh, that has really helped me. You said that to me like 2 weeks ago or so. And that's really like, it clicked in my head, I feel like. Yeah, just accept that you binged out or whatever and take responsibility and then just move on.
Yeah, it is what it is. You ate, laugh about it, and now go in the other direction.
Yeah, and it makes sense because you can't do anything about it anymore. Like, it's already happened. Like, okay, so this happened, now move on.
It's the same with a lot of things. People regret breaking up with a friend or an ex or leaving a job that they regret. Now their job's worse. It's kind of like, well, you did it. There's no going back. You're going to sit there wishing that we could have a time machine and go backwards. Like, you're just going to be wasting your life. You're an idiot. So just accept it. You did what you did. You learn from it. And now, again, you won't do it again, or you'll choose better things or whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
Everyone's very quiet listening.
I know.
Unless everyone left and no one's actually here. No, we've got a few.
We've got seven viewers at the moment, babes, so not that many. Maybe it's the subject. Maybe it's just like people, what traits would you admire? Why we admire each other. People are like, yeah, who cares what Bobby and Stephanie admire about each other? But it's kind of more, again, I want to talk about how you've rubbed off on me. You're very detail-oriented. You're very organized, again, very pedantic, very autistic about things, and I'm very relaxed. A good example is conversations. I talk around I talk around a subject. You're very specific. It's like, no, we're talking about that.
Yeah.
You're very target oriented, and the moment I start spreading around, you're like, yeah, but let's answer the question.
I think people that watch our stream every week and that kind of pay attention to the way that we talk to each other, they might notice that, especially last week's stream, when I was focused on the bullet points and then you just went all over the place and that completely threw me off. So for this stream, I was actually like, my main goal was to just be relaxed and just let you take me wherever you want to take me.
Yeah, because we're not being judged. This isn't a university paper where you're going to be graded.
No, I know, but my head is like New York. Like, you know the streets of New York? That's how my brain works. And I'm always trying to get structure and...
Yeah, I'm like you would go, I'm on the corner of 34th Street and blah, blah, and I'm talking about the city and...
Yeah, and I'm like, no, we have to go here. We have to turn this corner now. And you're like, I'm over here and I'm over here.
Yeah, but again, I'm used to, on my streams, I can do this and people enjoy me just talking and I've always got something to say and I can talk forever and talk about things from this angle, that angle, this angle. But you just you like going in a straight line. You're very much like an engineer the way you think. But that's great when you plan things. Like whenever we need to plan stuff, I lean on her because she's like, oh, great. If we, like, for instance, if in a couple of months when we go to Spain, you'll be like stuff we need to take and the itinerary and packing stuff and having everything in order and a checklist. And you're really great at that. Whereas I just kind of have bullet points and I'll make it up as I go.
But I do have to say, I'm good at organizing things. Like when we need to organize something, like the visa stuff.
Yeah.
When I came here, I'm good at that kind of stuff. And then also like making plans on paper or on my laptop and stuff. I'm good at that. But you are much better, I think, at organizing stuff, like material stuff. Like just if you look at your studio here.
Fixing things. Again, that might be a guy thing. Like organizing practical things.
Oh, no, I would say that's more also a female thing. Like women are usually really good at organizing stuff and making it homey and, that's what I mean. Yeah. And I don't necessarily have that. Like, I don't really care about that much. With me, it's more I want to have everything in my head organized. And I'm too rigid with that sometimes. And I want to become more relaxed with that. Yeah,
that's kind of funny with you. Around the house, you don't care how the house looks. You don't have to have little aesthetically pleasing things everywhere. You don't care what I buy.
It would be nice. Like if we won the lottery and we could get someone to make our house really nice. I would be like, yeah, sure, I want this style. Okay, now go do it. But I don't really care about it myself.
Yeah, but I would still like to do things myself. I get a lot out of putting my hands on things and fixing things.
Yeah, but you could. I mean, we said earlier also, like, I haven't changed anything about your house. Even if you had like a whole bachelor style thing going on.
I even suggest to her, babe, let's get you this. Let's go. Nah, I don't need it. Nah, I don't want it. And they're things that girls would like, awesome. She doesn't care.
My chair makes sounds sometimes.
It wasn't your chair.
It was my chair.
All right. What else? I've already mentioned you're very responsible, and you always say sorry, even when I didn't. Like when you think you may have said something, or you might have offended someone. You always want to make sure. And like, oh, did I offend you? Did I say something the wrong way? I noticed this and that. And often it's like, nah. It's like, oh, I just wanted to check. You're always aware of other people and how you're acting.
Yeah. I think that with people I really care about, that's genuinely because I care a lot about them as well. But I also feel like sometimes it's also a little bit for selfish purposes. Because if things aren't okay, then I'm worrying and then I'm stuck with that in my head. So, yeah.
Yeah, you don't care generally about people in general, but the people in your life that matter to you, you really care about what they think, and you want to make sure you're not taking advantage of people. So you are responsible. But I like the fact that you can say sorry and you can admit a responsibility, because that's very rare with a woman.
You know, another thing that I really like about you, it has to do with your mood as well, but you are very relaxed with whenever I offer to do something, or I want to go somewhere, or like I've said this before, like you always say yes. I really like that also, because that makes me feel like I don't have to compromise much. Like, you know, because I think that you say yes more than I say yes. But if we were both saying yes like 50% of the time, then that would be less nice. You know what I mean? Then it would feel more like a compromise.
What do you mean? Can you explain that?
I mean, like, if I, for example, sometimes say yes to you to doing stuff, and you also sometimes say yes to me, then it feels like we're compromising a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you pretty much always say yes, which I really like, and I think that that's made me appreciate that part about you and you a lot more, and that's made me want to say yes more also. So that has influenced me, I feel like, over the years.
Yeah.
Where I'm like whenever you ask me something to go for a walk or something, and I'm like, like I don't really care. But then I feel like over time that has influenced me, and I'm like, yeah, go for a walk. Like, he wants to go for a walk. Why wouldn't you go for a walk with him? Just say yes, you know. So I really like that. Bobby simps a lot.
Yeah, I'm a simp because I say yes a lot. That's what
No, but it's not that. I think it's genuinely because your character is super relaxed and you don't really mind.
Yeah, I'm a very much like, why not? Like I take care of myself. I know what I want. I won't sort of say yes to something that's a hard no for me. But like when I work and stuff, it's like, let's take a break. Let me do this. Let's go to the shopping center. Like I'm a person that likes to do stuff and why not and try things. Yeah. So I don't get in my way very often. And I think that's the dynamic you're talking about here, where you're just very stubbornly like, you've tied yourself here and you don't want to move, or you're lazy. And I'm like, come on, babe, let's just go for a walk, which isn't much effort, but you're like, no.
That's it. You're much more relaxed and flexible. And I am more, I've got like a few autistic traits, I'm pretty sure. I am more like, I've got like this planning of what I'm doing. And then sometimes it's also just that I'm being lazy. And then I might be like, But like at the end of the day, if you tell me, no, like I really want to go, let's go, then I'll go, you know. But with me, sometimes you have to like push me a little, I think. But with you, I think it's just because you're very relaxed. So you're always open to stuff.
Is it a Nordic trait? Because we saw a comedian say that. Like, didn't he say that people from those colder climates like Scandinavia and Nordic regions, that if they've planned, like, for instance, if you just plan, we're just going to plan to do nothing today. We've got nothing planned. And someone says, I'm going to drop in for a coffee for 5 minutes. You're like, no.
No.
Like you don't, you're very autistic with like.
Yeah, I find that very difficult. Like when I have an idea of how the day is going to go and then someone from the outside interrupts, like I don't like that.
Whereas with me, I'll be like, they're going to drop in for half an hour for a coffee. Who cares? Like, I'm not doing anything. If they said like, come to my place and spend all day here, I'll be like, no. I don't have time, I'd rather stay at home. But if someone just drops in, I have no problem being flexible. You've got a hard time being flexible.
Yeah, but that's also a cultural difference, really, I find. Because in Holland, at least in my experience, it's normal to make appointments for that beforehand, like days in advance. Like, it's not really normal to just drop in. Like, it's kind of rude. So, it's a Germanic thing. What is the plan? What's the plan?
Yeah, that's right. But okay, something else. I think I've covered the basic things, and I have to say that you're kind of, as I said, you're autistic and very particular and direct way of communicating. Like some people say that's a bit rigid or very but in a way it helped me see you clearly and trust you very quickly and see who you are and know I can trust you because you mean what you say. You're so autistic, you mean what you say. So when you say you love me, when you say your views on cheating, on being loyal to a person, I believe you because you are just autistically, you have an OCD thing about you that way. So I can't really see you just changing tomorrow. And it just helped me know you completely, very quickly. So when people say, well, women can always, it's like, not this woman. You haven't met her.
Yeah, that's also got to do with my morals, I guess. Yeah,
you're very rigid with your morals and you're very particular. And when you hold on to something, you don't let go the way you think. And that helps me know where you stand on certain things. You're not kind of wishy-washy on certain morals and ethics and like, I don't really know. If this happened in our life, I wonder how Stephanie would act. I'd be like, I know exactly how you're going to act. If this happened in our life, I know exactly where Stephanie would be. I'd know where her head was at. I know what she values. So it's in that way, it's really good that you're mildly autistic like that. You know?
Yeah, I would say obviously my morals are good, but the autistic traits, there are pros and cons to it. And the cons, I'm working on improving.
I think the cons are in the moment with emotions. The autistic traits really work against you. But when the emotions are gone and we're talking about life and being honorable and keeping promises and knowing where we are, those very autistic traits are great. They're awesome. Like, I can trust you. I know where you stand. I feel solid in our relationship. But it's only with emotions that the autistic traits come in and just like strangle them. And it's like, oh God, like I need to leave this kid in the room and play with its toy.
Or sometimes when something unexpected happens and then my brain short circuits and it throws me off and then it changes my mood. And then I'm like, oh shit, and then I can't get back to my old mood, That's kind of annoying.
Let's read some comments that people left. What do you admire in your partner? And again, it's a cliche term, but it's also, we wanted to talk about, we wanted to let people know, let you hear and see what we admire about each other. And really, for me, to know you trust and love someone is to know and hear yourself talk about their values and virtues like we have with each other now. Like, not just, we vibe together, I find them attractive, we go on holidays, they're a good father, they're a good wife. Yeah, how? What values, what human values and traits do you admire? How do you work together? How does it help you? Things like that. How do you play tennis with those values? What do you admire about the person? And I hope that us talking about what we value, what we've learned from each other, how it's rubbed off on each other. Like me, I was much more avoidant before I met you.
I was just going to ask you what you think has influenced you. Like, what trait of mine?
That's been a big one. Like, I love your directness, and your directness always, you want to talk about even tough things. Because I trust you and how I feel about you, it's like, there's nothing to fear here. I don't have to walk on eggshells. She just wants everything out in the open. Nothing bad's going to happen. And time again, I just got used to like, yeah, this is great. We just deal with everything straight away. Whereas before, game playing, yes means no. What's wrong, babe? Nothing. But then you're bitter and all that stuff. And now it's like, this is refreshing. Like nothing bad happens when we just rip the Band-Aid off and talk about the thing and then it's done. So it's helped me be less avoidant. Because all of my family are avoidant. We're always like, keep the peace, be nice, be respectful. What other people think, don't say this, don't say that. And there's a lot of very polite, good stuff, but you end up being someone who just avoids things, want to make sure that people are okay, and you never are completely honest with what you think and feel, because you want to make sure that other people are okay, and that people respect you and you haven't ruined your reputation and all that stuff. But you're just like, no, let's fix it. It is what it is. And so you've helped me be much less avoidant. Because if I can't fix a situation, I can't talk about it, I just walk away. And we've talked about how with my mood, I can do that easily with myself. I don't like where I am, I ghost it, I walk away. I avoid a bad mood. That's me. Bad mood, I avoid it. You can't. You have to address it, and that's the bad thing with you. You can't avoid you have to hold on to it until you fix it.
Yeah.
My avoidance, I can avoid a bad mood. I can't fix it, I feel bad, bye. I go.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
So I've learned in a relationship, but it's because I trust you, and I've realized like direct, rip the Band-Aid off, it's done, we're good again. So that's one big thing you've helped me with my personality.
Good.
Peg says, what traits would you admire in a partner? She says, good shared compatible sense of humor. That's important. Humor's a good one. Well-balanced, clear-minded communicator and listener. You are. I waffle on a bit. I go deep, but I go broad.
This sounds dirty.
But you're probably less deep, but very focused, Loyal, hardworking, but won't overdo it. Cooperative and an active listener. I could do better with my listening. Essentially, the best teammates you could ever be for each other. Yeah. Actually, no, I'm reading Luke's. Easygoing, competent, easygoing, but not complacent. Both a thinker and a doer. Well-balanced communicator and listener. Luke says, you can read Luke's out.
Willingness to be polite, civil, and fair. Honest, kind, and respectful to herself and others. Loyal, hardworking, but won't overdo it. Cooperative and active listener. Essentially the best teammates you could ever be for each other. Yeah, all sounds good.
Karu didn't like our question.
I know, but Karu, next week we're going to do your topic. We're going to talk about negative traits that we accept from each other.
The trade-offs each of us has that we've learned to accept, accommodate, because no one's perfect. But and if you're with the wrong person, they're very easy traits to say, nah, red flag, get lost. Like those are deal breakers, and then you end up leaving. But when a person's compatible, the things that you thought would be like annoying are not. I want to fix them. I want to care for you in those ways where you need me. Whereas other people, it's like, oh God, get out of my face. You're not for me.
You know what's also interesting? There are also things that I do for you that I wouldn't necessarily do in other relationships, that I haven't done in other relationships.
Same for me.
Yeah. So that's also interesting.
Karu says, this has been discussed to death. There will be a lot of overlap in the answers. A way more interesting question for me, at least, would be, what negative traits would you accept or be able to deal with or find endearing? Yeah. This is a thing. There are traits that you have that some exes had bits of, and they really annoyed me, but I wasn't compatible with them. And other things annoyed me, or I couldn't get on the same page with them. And that was just another thing that was just an added little red flag. Whereas with you, those things, it's like, oh no, we can work that out. That's kind of fun. Or that's endearing. That's quirky. An example is, if you really don't get along with your partner and your partner leaves their t-shirt on the bed all the time and you like things neat, it annoys the fuck out of you. But if you really get along with your partner, she leaves a t-shirt on the bed, it's like, look at Stephanie. She's like, it's cute. It's funny. It's like
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a very different way of feeling about things.
It's like you just accept those things. Like that just happens, like the sun comes up every morning.
Yeah.
It doesn't annoy you anymore. It's just something that your partner does.
Well, think about it. If you're good with your partner and you trust your partner and there's no eggshells you walk on, your partner could drop a spoon on the ground and you'd be like, oh. Whereas we drop a spoon on the ground and the other person starts laughing. It's a completely different reaction.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll discuss the trade-offs or the endearing things that people live with. But also, let's not forget that you might have certain boundaries and things you will never accept with a person, but then you meet someone who's compatible, then all of a sudden, I can live with that. So it's always situational as well. It's in the context of the person. It's great to have boundaries and values before you meet someone so you know you don't get taken advantage of. But then when you meet someone you can trust, a lot of your rules go out the window. It's really what you can live with and you don't complain about. Like all of your little quirks and stuff, they're either endearing or they're just typical everyday life and supporting your partner and they're in this mood and yeah, we're a little bit off, but that's because they need me and we need to support each other. It's just normal life, right? But if your partner's annoying you all the time and you can't communicate, that's different.
I think it also depends on whether when your needs are being met and you're with someone compatible, then it's also easier then you'll be more flexible as well. Yeah.
All right. There's our full face. Are you happy? You can see your head now.
Yes. Such a girl answer.
I know.
It's just when I look...
Am I pretty? When I look what?
When I look back at the stream, I don't like seeing a big white.
She always likes to review herself after a stream.
Hey!
No, but that's like... but it's not like a narcissistic thing. Again, you're a fact checker. You review things, you plan. And so you always like to make sure that things are looking and straight and, you know.
Yeah, I like looking back at how we come across. And then I try to look at it from the viewer's perspective, you know. So I think that's kind of what I do.
I do that, but you're very, very pedantic. You want to make sure you check it off and make sure you've come across properly, which again is...
You know, the last week's stream is the only one I didn't watch back because I didn't like that I got thrown off and that I was a little... Yeah, I didn't watch that one because I didn't feel like... Now everyone's going to watch the stream. No.
All right. Any other comments? I think we've talked a little bit. How long have we been going? Just nearly 50 minutes. We can do a short stream. Under an hour, babe.
Oh, wow. That might be our first one, under an hour.
Yep. If anyone wants to have a look at some of our other videos we've done, jump on the channel. These are the last streams. And some of the videos we've done as well. So, final thing, okay, about admiring. And I think it's important, like admiring your partner, respecting them. It's kind of similar. If you don't respect your partner or have values in them that you admire, I doubt whether you can love them. But then again, you can be with whoever you want and love them any way you want. Who am I to tell you? But I think really admiring and knowing how and why you respect your partner is actually pretty nice.
Yeah, but also if you feel like you want to adopt those traits, I feel like that brings you closer together as well. And it makes you respect your partner more, you know? Because you can just admire traits, but not necessarily want to adopt them. But like you've got traits that I would actually love to have, and I'm trying to adopt them over time.
Yeah, I can see objectively, like not just you, but like women to me, I've always had difficulty because I never had to deal with emotions the way women do. And I know generally guys tend to be better with emotions than women are, but I really notice a difference. I'm very... Little things tick me off unreasonably, but I can rant about them a little bit and then throw them away, but I don't really take them seriously. They don't really affect me. I don't lose sleep over them. You know, they don't affect me. They kind of in a fun way allow me to rant and say something about them. But I've always noticed with women, they really get affected by their emotions in ways that I don't.
But that's why I love that you're so calm and stable. Because when I'm in a mood or when I'm emotional or whatever, it's really nice to have a partner that is stable and calm. Because it wouldn't be good if you would match my energy, you know? So that's actually really nice. So, yeah. But I can really imagine men being annoyed with women being emotional and their mood up and down and stuff. Because it's also not fun. Like, I am a woman and I have that sometimes. And sometimes it doesn't make sense and it's like you can't get out of it. And so it's just annoying. So I understand that men are sometimes like they don't understand what's going on or they're like fed up with it. But I think it's a good thing if at least she can talk about it, you know, and she's aware of it and trying to work on it.
Unfortunately, a lot of women out there don't, because they're afraid to talk about things and they don't want to be embarrassed and stuff. They'll play these games like, oh, nothing's wrong, and stop bugging me, and they don't want to resolve it, and they just add a lot of tension. They waste a lot of time.
Yeah, okay, but then you shouldn't go for that woman, I think. I mean, as soon as someone doesn't want to talk about stuff or is not able to, that to me is like, I stop. That's where I stop. Like, I can't go any further with you if we can't be completely open and talk about stuff. Because then it's always going to be off.
Yeah, there's going to be tension. There's going to be eggshells, you know. That's why when you're in a certain mood like last night, you're feeling a little bit off. I know I can't talk to you. I try, and you're like, I'm just going through something, or I'm feeling a bit down or off. There's nothing I can say, so I just kind of leave you. But then you come back and say, well, sorry, babe.
Yeah, but we did talk about it at first. But then I'm like, I can't get out of it, and I'm just sitting with this for a moment.
Yeah, but you do talk about it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Where other people, they just pretend, and they don't say anything, and they make you as though you're the problem. Like, I'm fine. Like, you're getting me angry now because you're saying there's a problem. And then you think, oh, hang on, am I imagining this? Maybe she's fine. I'm the one going crazy, but you're not.
Yeah.
It's that they're playing games because they're too afraid to tell you that, I don't know, they're stressed or something.
Yeah, but I think I always come and talk to you and apologize to you because I'm aware that my mood is influencing you as well. And then I'm like, I'm already feeling bad about this thing that I'm worrying about, and I'm frustrated. And now I'm also frustrated, or I also don't like that I'm now affecting him as well. So then it's like, I don't want that, so I want to fix that, you know. But anyway, we got a good question from Boffin.
Did he? Where?
Up in the middle.
Where?
Yeah, no.
Ah.
What's the one thing you found in each other that you never found in another person? Wow. Well, I've never found anyone else who had your creativity. Like, yeah, that's not really a personality trait, I guess. But,
It's nothing really you benefit from, but I suppose it's nice to hear that you appreciate it, you admire it, even though it's nothing that you can use. Because a lot of women is like, oh, I like my partner because they do this for me. But you just admire something I do for myself.
I think I've never felt as safe with anyone before as I feel with you. So like, that's probably also because you're a bit older, and you just make me feel very safe. Like I can always depend on you. Like I could give you my life and I would be fine. Like that trust.
Well, you moved across the world to be with me. And to you it was like a no-brainer. Didn't you have some people say, oh my God, how can you just do that? Like, how can you move to another country?
Yeah.
You're brave.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I think what I also found in you, these are not really personality traits or anything, but I don't know, when I met you, that was the first time that I was like, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
This is the man for me, and this is the man I'm going to marry, and that's the end of the book.
Did that surprise you when you started to think that way, like you heard yourself?
No, not at all, because I know myself well, and I don't know, I just feel like when I want something and I know something, then I go for it and then I make a decision. So it didn't surprise me.
Not surprised as in, oh my God, this isn't me, but surprised like this is 100% correct. And it's kind of amusing how easy this is, but from the outside, it looks like, whoa, is this a bit risky? Are you sure, Stephanie? But inside, you know it's 100% correct.
I don't think it was surprising because I always had this feeling of I might actually end up with someone from abroad. So it wasn't a surprise, but it was like, wow, this is one in a billion that I found him. So I felt very lucky. I think I would say that I found you.
I think it's important you mentioned also you know yourself very well. And then when you have something in front of you, you know yourself very well. So then you know what's in front of you as well. Mm. If it's compatible. Like you know yourself, you know what you have. Mm. And I feel like myself as well. I knew myself very well by the time I met you. And then when you were in front of me, it's like, I know you well too. I know what you are to me. It's not like, whoa, cute, let's see what happens. It's like, no, I know this person's for me. I'm going to Holland to meet with them. Because normally it's like, I'm not a traveler. I'm not jumping on a plane. Like, I'm not doing this. It's like, nah, this is the girl I want to be with. And then when I met you, it's like, it's done.
Yeah. You know what else I'm thinking of? And this might sound kind of weird, but you know how you know that you can always depend on your dad as a girl?
You got daddy issues now, babe?
No, I've never had daddy issues. But I'm trying to say, I had that feeling with you, like total, complete trust. Like you'll always take care of me. If something's up with me, or I'm in a mood, or I've got whatever, you're always there for me. Mm-hmm. Kind of like, don't they say that girls look for like characteristic that their dad has or something?
Yeah, they look for elements of their dad in their partner and vice versa as well.
So I think that's actually true because I've never felt like that about anyone else. Mm-hmm. And like, obviously I trust my dad completely and he would like give up his life for me probably. So, I don't know. That's like a huge trust and safety thing that I also have with you.
It's one of these things that's very hard until you experience it. And I'm not trying to sound woo-woo on this, but it's similar to when people who have kids say, well, you don't know until you have kids. I don't know, but I trust them that so many of them say it. And it's the same, until I was 50, every girl was different but the same. I always felt like I liked them. Butterflies, I hope it works out, good times, like I hope we last. When I met you, I didn't feel anything. Like I felt like a different person getting to know you and dating you. It's like, I feel like I know Stephanie. She's like a mirror to me in a lot of ways in terms of comfort. We see the world the same way. You're predictable in the way you think, the way you talk, like you're so familiar. But when I first met you, it's like, I know I don't know her, but I feel like I know her. And everything that's coming out of your mouth and how you act and the promises you keep and you never contradict yourself, like everything was so clear. That's like, yeah, this is the person for me. And it's hard to explain to people because before I met you, I was like, when people say, well, I knew, it's like, yeah, but how do you know,
Well, yeah, I don't know. You can explain that in different ways, I think. But I think one way to explain it is that with my ex-relationships, I always went into a relationship thinking, okay, fun, let's see where this goes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like it's kind of, let's just see how this goes. This is fun. With you, it wasn't like that at all. With you, it was, we hadn't even met and we were talking only for a few months. And I already made the decision, okay, I'm going to move to Australia and I'm going to marry him. And that's going to be it. That's completely different.
You entertained the thoughts, but you didn't really think about it realistically until we started to really talk and communicate. And
yeah, okay, not that I made the decision, but I was like, this is probably going to happen, and I'm open to this because we talked so much in the beginning already, and I feel like I already knew you. I feel like I'm talking a lot in this stream, don't you?
Good. Usually I talk a lot. Take some of the load, babe.
You're being so dirty today.
I wasn't meaning that, you.
Oh, I'm just dirty. Okay, sorry. I'm dirty.
Bear some of the load. Take it.
I'll take it all, babe.
What's the one thing you found in each other that you never found? For me, it's like I already knew I was compatible. I enjoy spending time with you. I can talk to you forever. We get in each other's heads and we go kind of into every topic. We love watching similar movies and everything, right? But with you, it's also the comfort level I feel about you. I always feel like you've got my back. You defend me with everyone. Like you really defend me as my wife and my partner. I kind of am really proud of that. You are very considerate. You don't complain. You don't introduce drama into the relationship as well. Again, you can have your moods, but they're about you, and I just want to comfort you, and I don't like seeing you stressed. That's about the only thing, but you don't impose it on me. You don't cause drama. You don't make up fights. You never complain. You allow me, you enjoy me taking care of you. You allow me, my life I haven't had to turn my life upside down. You don't care how I lead our life and everything. You trust me. So it's all really easy with you. So I think your lack of complaining, your lack of passive aggressive game playing, having to work you out, you're not bitchy, you're very considerate, you're a nice person, you treat me well. Like, you don't have a lot of things that in the past I had to deal with and had to navigate and like move out of the way and stuff. Like, you're just very clear and easy to be with, you know? It's the lack of problems. There are positives, but you just have a lack of stuff that's in the way that just makes a relationship very, very easy with you. The only problems is when you get in your own way, and it's got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's all of that is also because my interests might be very different from other women, maybe.
Yeah, you're not very materialistic. You're
Yeah, I just want to be at home, and I care about food and hanging out with you. And that's basically all I want to do with my life. So
yeah, as long as you feel safe, you're fine.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot that I just don't care about. So, and I want calm and peace.
Would you leave under a bridge with me, babe?
Yes, absolutely. If that's the only way I could be with you, then yes. Yeah, of course.
All right. Guess what? We're living under a bridge. Boffin. All right. I think that's it. I think we've said everything we wanted to say. Again, expressing what values we respect in each other, what we admire, and also what we've learnt. Yeah, right.
That would have been weird.
Well, that was one of the reasons I kept us getting to know each other and the development of our relationship away from my channel. I wanted it to be natural. It was for us. And once that was over and we are where we are, it was like, okay, I'll let people know that I'm married and stuff.
Do you still have videos from your trips in Holland?
Yes, I do.
That might be nice to show one day, maybe.
Yeah, we should actually do a video if we're going to talk about an aspect of us getting together, is to put them in. I've used little clips in a video previously, remember? I've got more of them, so I've got more photos than video though. But in a couple of months we're going to Spain.
We're gonna vlog.
Yeah, we're gonna vlog and talk about that much more and do a video afterwards.
Yeah, in December we're going to Spain for almost 3 weeks because my parents, they actually moved to Spain from Holland, and they will be married for 40 years in December. So that's why we're going. And then the whole family is coming. So my sister and my brother are also coming from Holland. And we're all going to meet up in Spain. And it's going to be really nice. And then we can also celebrate Christmas and New Year at the same time also. So that'll be a really nice time.
That probably also makes a difference. Your family is similar to mine, where they've been married for a very long time. The way you've been raised, family values and things. Even though your family values might be different to mine, the kind of structure, stability, and the feeling safe and what you learnt might kind of help be with that similar kind of person. Whereas if you were like abandoned and orphaned when you were young and single mom and bounced around from homes and stuff, and I had like a mother and father who have been together their whole lives, there might be a bit of, discrepancy there.
Yeah, we've had good childhoods. Like, we were raised well, I would say. So that's always good, yeah.
All right. I think that's it. We'll leave it there. Anything else you want to say? Anything here?
Yeah, I guess that's also one, like, how considerate you are of your family and how often you want to see your family. I would say that's a trait I am grateful for that you have, I have to say. I mean, in the beginning, I really struggled with that. But I have to admit that that's a good trait because you are so considerate with your family, that of course that also trickles into our marriage. And you are also considerate and loving towards me. So of course I have to be grateful for that trait. Yeah. But I feel like that's hardly a problem anymore now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm much more relaxed now with the social
No,
things.
But yeah, again, it's both of us have been living on our own independently our whole lives, and we had to expect there were going to be some adjustment issues. And then the longer you're with the other person, they just become things you go through, and now they're not a problem at all.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're done, babe.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right, so join the channel, subscribe, leave your comments below about what traits you would hope to find in a person. And I think it's important to know what values, like not just the superficial garbage, or not garbage, but superficial stuff that some people talk about in the dating sphere. You should high value this and what they're supposed to have, but really who you are, what you really need from a partner. You know, things like, I'm not going to tolerate a bitch. I want someone who's nice, who treats me well. Not that I have to understand her bad childhood and she's got anger issues, but there's all these other good stuff. Like, no, that's a big problem. Like, if you know that stresses you out, I don't want to live with that stress between us all the time. So
yeah, and if I can add to that, maybe also, have you ever been with someone who has had certain traits that really influenced you for the better, that you wanted to adopt because you admired those traits? Because that's what I have with you, with a few of your traits. And I think that's kind of a special thing. Like, it makes me respect you more. So that might be another question.
Or have you been with someone who had traits where you know you never want to have those traits in another person ever again?
Yeah.
So, all right. Anyway, interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Join the channel, watch the recent videos, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.